We are picking up where we left off yesterday. Going back into Beyond Lemuria, whatever comes out of these cards is going to be the basis for today's session. Whatever that may be. Just give me a second. I am getting things set up. We're going to begin with this card right here. The two cards already upright are going to be the basis of today's message. We have Beyond the Mind. The mind moves us through the logistics of life so we can function in the world. However, endless mental chatter, self-doubt, limiting stories, and subconscious programs can keep us in our suffering. Step outside mind-based limitations. Looking at things in an overly logical way will hinder you and obstruct access to your superpowers. The past may not be running you and making your mind spin so you cannot see what is really in front of you. Consider what your heart and your gut are telling you. What would the situation at hand feel like if you released all fears and worries? Are these concerns even yours? And we have our ancient future. An ancient remembering is emerging. Seed crystals and the knowledge they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. Those who see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift this paradigm into balance. This card is imbued with activations, and you are being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will guide you. So the basis of this session is going to be what is coming through for us during this emerging, the remembering that is emerging. All right. Let's see. We're going to go into the mystical shaman first to determine what all is emerging through this remembering for the collective. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, what all is emerging with this remembering for the collective? Here we go. What all is emerging through this remembering for the collective? All right, that is one full pass. Let's see what we have on the table. We have the Holy Mountain. There is this understanding that there is no such thing as the finish line. Once we reach the peak of this mountain, notice that there are other mountains in the background. Something significant about that. Like this year of completion does not negate any kind of permanent ending There is no end in sight. So much more to explore. Even as we draw this season to a close and we end the season, okay, this is not the end all. Being invited to acquire vision and perspective, accepting the present situations as opportunities to discover higher understanding. Make a commitment to walk with courage, love, and compassion until you see with clarity the perfection of it all. It's time to be active. Don't let your doubts deter you and keep you bound. Time to leap over these challenges. And remember that from the top of the mountain, there are no obstacles, only beauty and the unobstructed view of the entire earth. Overcome any lethargy, indolence, and laziness, as these are the real obstacles. And let me tell you something, beloveds. I did Breath of Fire this rising before I did my workout. And I still feel energized, but I'm calm and cool as a cucumber. Like, so on that Team Chill timeline. And it seems to have helped me overcome that feeling of stagnance. We also, interestingly enough, I was just speaking on completions, and what do we have here? Not only are we about to draw a season to a close with this next solstice that we are in, this signifies year 9, 2025, adds up to a 9. And there's a lot of significance in the work, the inner work that the collective has done all throughout 2025. Everything has a beginning and a middle and an end, so to speak. But some other beginning is some other beginning's end. And so on and so forth. For that end, there is a new beginning, just like I was saying about the mountains. Once you climb that mountain and you reach its peak, there's another mountain to climb. In regards to relationships, it's time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. Whether this is occupational, vocational, romantic, or any otherwise, there are some relationship changes that are emerging with this remembering. But this is also a time of celebration. This is not a time to be getting down in the dumps and forgetting how far you've already come. This is also not a time to be clinging to the old. Do not be afraid of hurting anyone's feelings. It's time to move on. We are responsible for our actions. We also have Vision Quest, number 60. Vision Quest. In terms of what is emerging through this remembering for the collective. The need to get closer to nature again. If this isn't something that you have already been doing, it's time to formulate your own way according to your protocol to connect with nature. There are answers to some of those nagging questions that can be only found through that connection with spirit and nature. Realizing our flaws, our potential and opportunity in life is coming our way. We just have to get up, get away from the desk, spend some time out in nature. Those who help themselves set the intention and ask nature for a guide, for a vision. Don't be so busy in your head that you miss the call. That's not me telling you what to do, okay? I'm just going off of what the card is saying here. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? What else is emerging? Whoa, that's a lot. We're still going to make a full pass, though. And that's our full pass. All right, let's take a look at the card that's face up first. We have the Rainmaker. Number 42. We're being called to create something new from the elements that are already in our life. Making the most of what we already have to work with, Holy Spirit just said. Working with what is and not with what might be or could have been. Do not hold back. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice. Okay, well, that just prompted me to bust out the dice, to do a little more rolling, and then we will go back into these cards. We'll just set those off to the side for a moment, and let's go ahead and give them a roll. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What is emerging during this time of remembering for the collective? Whoa. All 3 ones, guys. One of them happened to land directly on the horizon. The other 2 are kind of levitating over the horizon. Oh, trouble in paradise. But also, for some of the collective, because that trouble in paradise is not for everyone, okay? For some of the collective, this is getting creative and taking action, but working in solitude for today. Also suggesting the importance of alone time. So, in terms of what is emerging, is like recognizing the difference between being alone and being lonely. Added together, we have a 3, representing positive change, a stroke of good fortune. Some really great news is coming in for the collective, but it's going to come through differently. It's going to pertain to something coinciding to a remembering of some kind. Something that you are just like having a spark of memory about. It's like that spark of memory is initiating that good fortune in some kind of way. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Okay, we have a 5 on the horizon and doubles on the 2s above the horizon. So, already in the orbit is the opportunity for a new beginning, as well as helpful people coming into our lives. Above the horizon with the doubles, this represents duplicity, hidden truths, things not being as they appear. The collective, during this time of remembering, is being guided to take a closer look through introspection and reflection of the decisions that have been made that led to where we are in order for support in the current decision making moving onward. Added together, we have a 9, indicating romance, new romance coming in for the collective for some, and just a rekindling of love, whether it's a rekindling in of love for what you do, um expansion of the heart for connections that even already exist, but it feels brand new to you. Like, even if it isn't necessarily new love per se, it feels brand new to you. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Okay, we have a 6, a 1, and a 3. The 6 is on the immediate horizon, already in our orbit. This is indicating a potential misfortune, but for someone other than ourselves who is close to us in some kind of way, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise. With the 3 and the 1 above the horizon, this has to do with some kind of tension between that person and another, that if it goes unchecked, it will lead to misfortune for them. But I'm not quite sure what the collective has to do with that, because it's not indication of tension for the collective. It's indication of tension for another who is close to the collective. It could have to do with that new beginning. Like, it's going to hurt some feelings if you're going to be going through a separation, or if you already are. There's no way around that. It's going to hurt some feelings. But as the cards say, don't worry about hurting others' feelings. It's for the greater good of all. We are not responsible for their actions and feelings. We are responsible for our own. Added together is a 10. New opportunities involving our creative energy. For some of the collective, we may be called to be creative in terms of troubleshooting a solution for that one close to us who is dealing with some kind of tension and strife. And I'm saying that because it's breaking down to a 1, which brings us right back to that trouble in paradise for some, but also tension for another close to us in our orbit. We may be called to offer some kind of guidance, reassurance of some kind. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else is emerging during this time of remembering? Oh, this time we have triples on the fours. Oi to you, Maria Selma. Hello, and thank you so much for being here. Happy Thursday. This would typically be exclusive word on the streams for the collective. This time the theme is all about what is emerging during this time of remembering for the collective. We have a setback already in the immediate orbit, meaning this is something that has already occurred. But there are other setbacks lingering, potential setbacks. So this is telling me that for some of the collective, in terms of that troubleshooting and that person in close proximity dealing with some kind of tension, some of you are going to be guided to assist them, but others of you are going to be guided to just allow the chips to fall for them and walk away. And it could be connected to that trouble in paradise. The connection that someone close to you that is in a romantic setting versus or other than any other kind of relationship. Hello, beautiful heavenly. Great to see you, beautiful sister. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Added together, these fours equal a 12, indicating really good news coming in for the collective from an official source. This could be any kind of official sources. It could even be good news coming in from multiple sources that are some kind of official position, either in your occupation, vocation, or even an official connection romantically. Good news coming in pertaining to that. Which could lead to strife for others who are not necessarily in alignment with any kind of good fortune that's coming in for the collective. They could be opposed to it, feeling as though the collective isn't deserving of it in some kind of way. But that's just that's their narrative. And it could very well be that type of negativity causing tension for them, as well as contributing to those situations where there is trouble in paradise for the collective. Hello, Yogi. Hello, dear friend. Thank you so much for being here. It's always an honor to have you here. You guys, in terms of breath work, if you don't already know, the Just a Yogi channel is my go-to source for breath work. That's actually how I got acquainted with Yogi Eric. I was led there by my friend Dolly, and I'm so grateful and appreciative of that opportunity. I'm so glad I took her up on it. I did do Breath of Fire by myself, though, this morning. I didn't need assistance with that. But if that's something that you also do as a pre-workout, you can always go find this channel. Go find this channel and request breath work And if they don't have a guest on the panel, you may get lucky and they can help you bring that energy back to center and get back into that calm and cool as a cucumber type of frequency. And that way you don't have to be like over energized throughout the remainder of your day or going into the evening. 10 out of 10, highly recommend Just a Yogi. And I don't really usually do big old shout outs like that. So you must be a rare gem, Eric. The real deal. And thank you so very much for your service to humanity. It has helped me, and there's no doubt in my mind that it has also helped many others. So I speak for all of us in saying namaste, much gratitude, and thank you to you. All right, 12 breaks down to 1, bringing us right back to those periods of solitude that are just as relevant and necessary as what I just mentioned with like doing the breath of fire and the rising to get energized for your workout or so that you can have a more productive work day, so to speak. There's something significant about having that sacred space and alone time that is like a must have. And for some of you, you may have forgotten all about the importance of that alone time. And now it's emerging during this time of remembrance. Since we had 3 4s, we're going to roll again. As long as we don't have any doubles, this will be our last roll, and then we're going to go back into the cards. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? And we have doubles. We have snake eyes above the horizon, so you know what that means, guys. But we also have a 3 on the horizon in our immediate orbit. Again, this is double clarification of positive change and a stroke of good fortune coming in for the collective. And somehow it's associated with a remembering of some kind. But I can't quite put my finger on what that is. So all that's really telling me is that it's going to mean something different for everyone. Something that comes up and emerges during this time of remembering that is going to lead to that good fortune. It's already in the orbit. The opportunity's already there. By remembering, we awaken to it or reawaken to it. Added together gives us a 5, which brings us right back to a second confirmation pertaining to something new, something brand spanking new coming into the collective's lives. For some of you, it can just be some kind of correspondence. For others of you, it's a person. All right. We'll see if this is our last roll. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is coming through for the collective and emerging during this time of remembering? We have a 5, a 3, and a 1. This time the 5 is on the horizon. So it went from being outside of our orbit to in our orbit twice. This is remembering just how abundant you already are, especially During those periods of solitude, when you're sitting alone in stillness and quiet, that wave and rush of gratitude is just going to come through and remind you of just how abundant you already are. Added together brings us to a 9, right back to that either brand spanking new relationship, or for some of you, in terms of romance, a rekindling of love that didn't quite hit it off the first time. Regardless of what created the separation or the parting of ways, that parting of ways was only temporary. And by you remembering the significance of that connection is also going to contribute to that rekindling in some kind of way. All right, now let's keep going into these cards that already came out for us in terms of what is emerging during this time of remembering. We have the Hunter, number 27. Give me just a moment, guys. I need to wet my whistle. All right. Here we go. So, in terms of what is emerging with the Hunter, a new adventure. Trusting that success is assured in this new adventure. Even as we face tests and challenges, success is assured. Know in your heart of hearts that all will be well. Because the all is in the small, the little things, beloveds. The mighty being comes to teach you stillness and motion and to trust your inner knowing that the sweetest nectar is assured. Failing to act when the moment is right can spoil the journey. So, if we feel our safety and comfort and day-to-day survival are more important than saying yes to the invitation to explore this new adventure and the unknown associated with it, we are being guided to work much harder, because that's will be what ends up happening. We'll have to work much harder to achieve what is being offered to us freely. Heed the gentle voice that calls to you to test new wings. So, Thursday Intel, word on the streams. What else is emerging during this time of remembrance? We have the curse. But we're guided to not take that word at face value or take it literally. All right. Source Holy Spirit just said, do not take it for face value. Instead, recognize the source of your own limitations. Honor. Untangle and release. Forgive everyone and everything and craft a new life course for yourself. recognizing the original wound that was playing out in your life and heal it. Hello, beautiful sister Lucy. Good morning. Grand Rising, thank you so much for being here. I think it's like the fourth time now I've seen you. It seems to be we're both heavily perusing these YouTube streets nowadays. We keep bumping into each other, and I absolutely love it. You are great company to bump into, by the way, in case you haven't been told, in case you haven't heard. And I am the messenger of the good news of humanity. And you, my dear sister, are great company. All right, now in terms of the corn, what else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Remembering how far that you have come, trust that you did quality work, and that you will soon be reaping the rewards of it. Not because you expect it or count on it, but more because you do it, just you do what you do to do it out of your heart center without expecting anything in return. And with that approach, it's almost like source is saying double for your trouble, because you just do from the kindness of your heart wholeheartedly without expecting anything in return. Double, double for our troubles, troubles. Yes. And enough to share, because the corn also represents contributing to the collective, your council, your community, sharing in the good fortune, but also being prepared to work towards your goals, releasing any insecure thoughts, knowing that Source always provides, and that we must be in a close connection with Source in order to receive. Even if you didn't plant well, there is always a new season to begin again. And that new season is upon us. New adventures, new opportunities. And I'm getting that this has to do with the smoky mirror coming out. This has to do with like the fog. The smoke is clearing. We're gaining clarity on what that even means for us. Like, as I'm sharing this message, you are remembering and gaining clarity in some kind of way. And it's going to be different for each of you. Seeing beyond our own self, representing this shadow of the human psyche. So, through this inner work that the collective has been doing, there is some remembrance emerging from that, as well as that shift from me to we. As we gain more clarity and continue to rise towards our higher selves, we gain even more clarity. And trust it. We see beyond ourselves. We see the we. But also trusting that no matter what our current conditions are, in the hidden realms, all aspects of human journey are celebrated. No matter where you are on your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not know. We also have soul retrieval. Number 49. What else is emerging? Our energy, our enthusiasm, and our innocence. Recovering from our hurts and healing our childhood wounds. Our energy, enthusiasm, and innocence returns. And we are whole again. No longer fragmented and one with creation. We have healed the cause of the pain we feel, so we do not need to dwell on it any longer. This is what I was saying in yesterday's live about how I've already been adapting and adjusting to a situation that hasn't even happened yet, because I already know in my heart of hearts it's happening. It's true. No longer hovering over an old wound. No longer distracted by that beta boy, low level spirit energy. Especially distractions concerning anything that we've already done well enough we can just move on from it. We're being guided to go big this time, beloveds. And that ability to go big is emerging. No longer compromising what we truly believed in to be loved or accepted by others. Never compromising our integrity. It's been made right. We have taming of the wind. Or excuse me, taming the wind. And the air card was the first of the Beyond Lemuria cards to come out at the tail end of yesterday's live. So I'm feeling guided to read that again. And then we will ring the bell for number 55. Our first master number to come out in today's session. Air representing a paradigm shift that is emerging through this remembering. A time of tremendous change, and the speed of our evolution is increasing exponentially. We can build energetic sovereignty, inspire others, connect dots, and receive and share the knowledge and tools needed for transformation. As we wake up, we can't help but awaken those around us. It may start with an inquiry on what this fresh, new, and long awaited breath in is all about. Isn't that something? Because the remembrance is the inquiry. What's emerging during the remembrance? And the fresh, new coming in for me and you. An expansive being holds a tiny heart-shaped seedling. When the foundations we build on come from a place of love over fear, we will see huge positive changes in the world. We can start with ourselves. Beautiful. All right, now let's ring the bell for all of the blessings, the new love, the new romance, the new opportunities in terms of vocation and occupation, relationships, friendships. Let's ring it in for the collective. This may be a good time to reduce the volume on your listening devices. 1, 2, 3. Ringing it in, ringing it in, ringing it in. So it is, so it is, so it is, and so it shall be. And so it shall be. In terms of what else is emerging through this time of remembering, we have clearing our energy, being present, and becoming conscious of how we communicate. That's actually another role that this bell plays, is clearing the energy, chasing out the negative voltage so that only that of love and the willfully good may dwell here. A sacred commitment that we are about to make in life, or that we're already making. It just hasn't become quite official just yet. But these types of connections and commitments also include a third party. Oh, yeah, it's a third party situation, all right. Except this is the good kind of third party situation because it involves great spirit, co-creating for the highest good of all. Also becoming more conscious of how we communicate. It's also time to take more time to give honor to our higher selves, our oversouls, the Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, the Most High. Reverence and respect. Cleaning up misunderstandings. Clearing the air. Being a better listener. A time of understanding as well as being understood. Keeping a handle on your emotions, restraining the tongue. That's how things get resolved. We also have the witness emerging during this time of remembering. changing reality by finding stillness and allowing our true intent to reveal itself, acknowledging preconceptions, ideas, and feelings about the situations we are currently in, no longer falling back into old patterns, breathing through it, connecting with joy, and with the joy of not having to perform. Hold space. Hold the line, beloveds. All right. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Okay, one card came out. So before we take a look at that one, we're going to go into the immediate orbit and see what is already emerged and being remembered in this moment, in the now. We have many paths. Number 34. What is already emerged during this time of remembering? We have number 34. Taking a big, bold step and leaving the beaten path behind. More confirmation to get a move on. Not dilly-dallying, or we will miss the moment. Trusting the unknown, the uncharted. We have outgrown our current situations. If we don't get out of them now, we could be losing our way. Respond to the call. Answer the call. It's okay to not know where you are going. It's okay to not remember where you are going. We also have the medicine wheel. We already did a medicine wheel for this month, so I won't be busting that back out just yet. But I was thinking about doing medicine wheels for each of the elements, like earth signs, water signs, air signs, so on and so forth. So, yeah, earth, air, fire, and water. Like doing a medicine wheel, 4 different videos, one for each element. So that's still up in the air at this time. Let me know what you think about that. Number 35, in terms of what we are remembering or what is emerging during this time of remembrance. Hello, Bro Star. Hello, Marlon. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Great to see you. Hello, Shelly. Great to see you too, beautiful sister. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, yeah, Marlon, my buns got shredded early this morning. Yeah, right after that last live that we attended, I went right to it. Well, I mean, I had a cup of coffee first. I sat down and had a cup of coffee, and then I came back to my studio, did the breath of fire. So I had a double pre-workout this morning because I had a cup of coffee, and then I did breath of fire, and then I did a full body today doing goblet squats and swings at the same time. So I was like working my full body instead of only, the goblet squats, they only seem to work from like the chest down. So, yep, that's what I did. Good to see you guys. Hello, Dolly. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful sister. Hello, hello. Awesome. Keep up the great work, Bro Star. Now, in terms of what is emerging during this time of remembering with the medicine wheel, something about the 4 steps taken to become a person of power and wisdom. Remembering our healing journey, how difficult it was to get started, but then finding the inner strength to step into it. And in doing so, these opportunities have not been lost and will not be lost. There are many ways and many paths. Isn't that funny? The many paths card came out right before that. Many ways and many paths to choose from. Just remember, not making a decision over these paths is a decision not to decide on those paths. But the message here is through that emerging the only mistake you can make is to not follow your path. So go boldly. Embrace the unknown. Trust the journey, trust the process. All right. Now we're going to go into, let's see here. I say we reach for the Kipper in terms of what else is emerging during this time of remembering. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Here we go. What else is emerging during this time of remembering for the collective? Let's see. We'll take a look at this one that landed face up first. We have expectation. Something along the lines of remembering that setting too high of an expectation for yourself and others has never done anybody an ounce of good. The only thing that you're relying on at this time is patience. Your own level of patience. We also have unexpected income. This could be quite literal for you, like unexpectedly remembering where you could have stashed some loot. Otherwise, in terms of what's emerging, some kind of unexpected energy, positive energy exchange. The heads are up. If it lands on heads, it's good luck, good fortune. And heads are up. So it's all positive. But it's unexpected. So that actually falls in alignment with just trusting in the process, trusting in the unknown. Some kind of good fortune around everyday financial activities, such as a raise, unexpected money from work or investments, some kind of like small temporary contract. But also changes and improvements that could have already been happening that you haven't even realized about yourself yet. There's also going to be an unexpected message in love matters, an invitation pertaining to love. For some of you, a secret admirer is going to be reaching out unexpectedly. I mean, besides from what you're hearing from me. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? A new occupation. Something that you either already love or that you will grow to love. Some kind of work that isn't even going to feel like work. Beautiful. What else is emerging? Team Chill. Team Chill timeline. Grace. I just heard. And mature authority. Mature authority. For some of you, you're going to become more influential and seen as a strong, solid individual. For others of you, that influential person, that strong and influential person is going to be entering your life. It's that helpful person that was mentioned in the dice rolls. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, just a person with the qualities, the energy of this card. grace, good listening skills, the ability to offer sage guidance, the ability to offer aid to another, an authority figure, an executive, a guide, a teacher. It's going to mean something different for everyone. Regardless of the connection, it's going to be a pleasurable one. We also have the Thief card. It doesn't necessarily mean that a thief is emerging during this time of remembrance. An honest living. An honest living. And someone's going to come along for some of you and steal your heart, but in the most positive manner. Not a ragamuffin. Holy Spirit just said, not a ragamuffin. Honest connections and an honest living is coming in. And then we have bad health in the upright. But again, we're not taking these cards literally. This is more about adequate rest. For some of you, some kind of recovery time. Like you may be having some kind of work done or procedure done in order to better yourself. It's going to require some recovery time, but it's only going to benefit you in the long run, as well as that adequate rest for others. Overcoming and healing from any kind of feeling of powerlessness that you may have been experiencing due to some kind of temporary break in a connection or just any other reason for your inability to act on something. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Well, that card just turned completely sideways, and we'll grab those that are sideways as well. That is a full pass. We have Judication. Source, Holy Spirit just said, remembering who you are. Also, with that crest in the background, I'm seeing a balance and hemisync between the mundane and the spiritual, or the literal and the metaphorical, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, merging, embracing all aspects of yourself, each book representing aspects, different aspects, facing them head on. Also, for some of the collective, a resolution over some kind of disagreement is coming in. For others of you, some kind of mediator, doctor, or counselor coming through to act as a negotiator in some kind of way, presenting the collective with multiple options and resources to choose from, is what Holy Spirit just said. All right, let's keep going. We have high honor out next. High honor coming in and emerging during this time of remembering. Trophies, medals, honors, success, promotion, or raise, acing an exam, or graduating with honors. You're on your way up, socially and professionally. For some of you, this is the higher ups. The higher ups corresponding with you about those negotiations. Recognition, advancement, but not always business related. Recognition in other ways, like your skill set, your gifts, your knowledgeability, your ambitions. And for some of the collective, this right here is that declaration of love that I said is going to come in. Whether it's you growing more interest and love for what you do, or a romantic relationship. That correspondence is a declaration and an invitation for that true love in its purest, most sacred form. And you are deserving of it just as much as anyone else. This can even show up on a different scale entirely, having more to do with someone close to you, just really laying it on thick in terms of how grateful they are for you, like laying on the gratitude. And you're being guided to enjoy the moment. Oh my gosh. And I thought this being one of the greater cards in the deck was an amazing come up for the collective. And then we have this great fortune. It came out in the dice as well, that great fortune was coming in, and here it is. Literally and figuratively speaking. Yes, number 26. Great fortune emerging for the collective during this time of remembering. The most enabling and powerful card in the deck, right here. Turning any challenging situations, obstacles, and even people into harmless effects, nullifying any kind of negative intensity, unexpected good luck. Now, this is good fortune that may not be, how do I put this? It may not be like a forever outpouring. What it is going to lead to new opportunities that will keep the flow going. Thank you, Holy Spirit, Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. New perspectives and improvements in relationship matters as well. And then we have the despair card in the upright. No worries about that card because great fortune is right behind it and high honor is right behind that to lessen the blow. This is more about relationships that are characterized by trouble. But even with that knowing that there is trouble in paradise, we're being guided to not expect too much out of others due to that or even ourselves. Being guided to embrace any period of grief fully. Because until you do embrace that grief fully, you're not going to be able to get through it. This could involve situations of frustration, dealing with a jealous person, an angry person, but things are going to work out. Especially for those of you moving on from it. No more brooding, no more worrying. And support on many levels is coming in for the collective. With that emerging support in many ways, shapes, and forms. Others are going to be reaching out, offering assistance, especially for those of you dealing with trouble in paradise, and that the only way to resolve it is to get out of it. True friends, loyalty, cooperation, helping each other. More social interactions that are going to lead to the necessary connections and those new opportunities to utilize your potential, your own potential, you doing the work. It's not somebody else doing the work for you, but the opportunity to utilize your potential to contribute to that great fortune is also uh, associated with those connections in some kind of way. Oh, look, we have the divine counterpart for the mature woman. For some of you, A match made in heaven. Divine counterparts. Your specific person that you are meant to be with. Your soulmate. For some of you, it would be a twin flame. Okay. But I'm here to tell you those twin ray, twin flame connections do not feel like home. They do not always feel like paradise. Those type of connections can actually be quite triggering. But that's what they're for. To trigger, and you take it upon your own free will at the end of the day to make the necessary changes in yourself, within yourself, not for them, for you. It's like they trigger that Kundalini awakening so that you can answer the call, your own call, not their call, your own call, answering the call. That Kundalini awakening triggered by a twin ray that is going to lead to the unexpected income, that occupation that you love that doesn't even feel like work, deeper, more meaningful connections in the community, overcoming the not so good connections, leading to a residual flow of good fortune by that initial burst of good fortune, and then you doing your part to create more portions. Worthy of reward, worthy of recognition, worthy of high honor. Becoming even more well-versed at what you do. Resting when necessary. Because someone is coming into your life who's going to steal your heart. Not your finances, not your belongings, not your home, not those tangible things. They're going to steal your heart in the most beautiful way. What's already in the orbit, what has already emerged for the collective. The path, that unbeaten path. Multiple pathways came out with this deck, with the mystical shaman. So multiple paths with multiple connections, tools, resources, materials, and modalities. Each butterfly representing a different connection, source, material, tool, and modality. And you, beloveds, you are that pillar of light. Contributing to the glow up of others. You becoming more of that beacon of light for others in the process as well. You could be the one, for some of you, coming along to steal someone else's heart by being that beacon of light for them, regardless of the nitty-gritty details of how it comes about. Wow. A pleasant patch of life. This also represents people, places, things, and situations coming in for the collective, emerging, that are meant to be long term. And it may be a long road ahead, but it's worth it. Why? This card just slipped from the bottom of the deck and I caught it with my other hand like this. It's the transformation card. What kind of transformation? Right behind that, we have that child, the return to innocence that was already mentioned earlier in the session. That return to your true self. Your true self with a new perspective, though, through alchemically transmuting, turning darkness into light. The love is shining through on this transformation, and you gaining a new perspective through a new set of eyes, those of childlike awe and wonder. Those endings, those completions, are also represented by that coffin. So that card also serves as confirmation. People, places, things, other people, places, things, and situations being drawn to a close. Time to say goodbye. A relationship that has to be ended. Or accepting a transition of another kind, like transitioning to a different job or a different job position, a different vocation, a different lifestyle altogether. But with this card coming out right behind that, we have the resilience to adjust to those changes. Childlike resilience to adjust to those changes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Now we're going to move on to yet another deck. This time, let's reach for... We're going to do the Hungarian Gypsy too, but not just yet. Let's bring in our creature teachers from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck to show us more of what is emerging during this time of remembering. Thursday exclusive intel. Word on the streams is all about what is emerging during this time of remembering. Here we go. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging for the collective during this time of remembrance? Source, Holy Spirit, what else is coming through during this time of remembrance? Let's see, we have the earthworm out first. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Sharing our inner vision, but Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source is saying without oversharing. Sharing your vision without oversharing. Sharing enough of your vision to demonstrate value. Not that validation is necessarily a requirement, but if you are on the move for a new connection, especially occupationally or vocationally, to some degree, you're going to have to demonstrate some kind of value here. By sharing just a little bit of your inner vision, you can demonstrate that value. You can give like real examples of how you can contribute to the greater good. Speaking up, even when it could mean risking embarrassment. A reminder to not feel intimidated or lose hope. You're on the right track, and mastery takes time. A beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. So, that beginner's mindset that is always so underestimated, but so valued, is so undervalued, when in all actuality, it's just being earnest. But you're establishing, some of you establishing confidence in a new field, a new way of offering your service to others. This is also about not comparing your journey to others' journeys. Like, do not measure yourself by someone else's steps. So, establishing more confidence seems to be overall the majority of what's emerging here. We also have the wolf. Hmm. Some kind of opportunity, several opportunities, and each one is going to fit somebody different here. Opportunities involving activism or mentorship or humanitarian efforts or teaching, be it religious, political, or any otherwise. Tolerance, acceptance, and tolerance are making you more reliable and fearless. But also, that practice of letting go is becoming more easy for the collective. With the peacock, more of that inner beauty, compassion. Becoming more adept at what you do. This also has to do with the internal being mirrored externally. Like what you have going on the inside is going to reflect what you have going on the outside. But confidence and kindness are outshining the situation for the collective. Yesterday, there was mention of balancing the navel chakra, the sacral chakra. And with this card, there's more mention of that. Meditating on that energy wheel just below the belly button is where you would want to focus your attention. And we balance it by being more mindful of what we consume or digest through any and all of our senses. Being sure to not harbor any kind of resentment or past pain or holding on to any kind of conflicts. There was also mention of forgiving and moving on from that as well. Let's keep going. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What else is emerging during this time of remembering for the collective? What else is emerging during this time of remembering? All right, that's another full pass. Let's take a look at what's face up first. We have the buffalo hitting the table first. Becoming more trusting. Becoming more trusting and less fearful. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source just said thinking with your heart instead of your head. Seeing through the challenges and hardships and the bumps in the road as an opportunity for upliftment and growth. Trusting with gentle eyes, looking at the road ahead. Trusting every turn. but also that reminder that life truly is a gift. Life itself truly is a gift. We also have the elk. More consistency, stability, resilience. Whether you're male or female, this is masculine energy. But deflating the ego, becoming more supportive and kind to others as well as you deflate the ego. Now, in terms of what we have face down, we're going to save that one for last. We have the owl and the octopus. Both of them start with an O. How fun is that? And also, last but not least, the serpent, the sea serpent, and there's that O twice, 3 times. Actually, it would be infinite if you just kept looking. So we're going to stop there with that. Let's take a look at this owl card first. In terms of what is emerging during this time of remembering, security, abundance, but also your clairs are becoming more sharp. Your intuitions are becoming more sharp. But I'm hearing all of your clairs are improving. All of them. Trusting that your own wellspring of treasures is infinite and being generous with that wellspring of knowledge that rises through, not knowledge, but wisdom, rather, that rises up through your own experiences. Also representing beauty, wealth, and good fortune. A positive omen coming in for the collective. And as it does, you will see, but you will also have that knowing of exactly what to do. Contributing to the positive abundance. Contributing to it, not just receiving it, but contributing to it. Now, as for the octopus, Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What is emerging for the collective through this remembering with the octopus? Putting up boundaries and getting out of messy relationships. But also avoiding allowing too many people all up in your business. Like, that's why the message came out earlier about, like, It's okay to share a little bit of your vision with the right people for the right reasons, but there's also that air of caution about oversharing. But also, not only being cautious of nosy people, but being cautious of becoming a nosy person. Healthy boundaries. Patience. But being firm with those boundaries. Leading to changes, even changes involving old habits that are meant to be drawn to a close. Noticing when you're around certain people, places, things, and situations, and it makes you feel drained or uneasy. That type of awareness is also emerging. And that solitude that was mentioned earlier when we were rolling the dice, now my left ear is ringing high pitch. But when we were rolling the dice earlier, solitude and alone time was mentioned frequently. Being sure to incorporate that into your lifestyle, regardless of your lifestyle. Creating space for yourself for some me time. That's right. While we're on that trend. Me time. Incorporating me time is adequate and important. Adequately important. And then we have the sea serpent in terms of what is emerging during this time of remembrance, healing emotional wounds, and expressing our desires. Voicing our needs is not begging. Don't ever let any narcissist try to convince you that expressing your needs, especially basic needs, is begging. It's not begging. You genuinely need help and you're not trying to buffalo somebody or grift them. That's entirely different. This is also about moving and directing our energy in a healthy current, balance, expressing ourselves creatively without fear or shame. We know what we need most. And our hearts will be at ease with our new relationships and more meaningful and enduring connections. Letting go of self-judgment. Inviting forgiveness, especially of oneself, but also others. It's also important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. We are supported as we learn and continue to learn to express our true selves and our true nature. Interestingly enough, we were just discussing the navel chakra again, the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana chakra, deep in the pelvic bowl, our center of creativity and desire, and associated with water. So, this is even more confirmation of balancing that energy region just below the navel, in between the root chakra, which is the seat, and then just above that would be the navel. And then on into our solar plexus. And then into our heart chakra. But there is or has been a blockage in the second chakra that is on its way out or has been on its way out. So part of that emerging during the time of remembering has to do with clearing those blockages. Activating them. Activating those energy wheels. And then Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source is saying, getting back to the heart of things. As the higher chakras come down and the lower chakras rise, they meet at some point in the heart. With that emerging is so much good fortune in so many different ways. But hey, don't get mad at me if it doesn't turn into dollar bills and that's all that you're expecting. That's all you. You have to work on your mindset involving all of that. Good fortune can show up in so many other ways other than just material relationships and material needs. But earlier in the session, financial connections and assessments did come out. So I relayed that message when it was necessary. Now that we have gone and brought in some creature teacher allies, we're going to go into the Hungarian Gypsy for more. Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source. What other energies are emerging for the collective during this time of remembering? Here we go. What else is emerging during this time of remembering for the collective? Okay, money, merriment, and a love letter. No joke. Money. Otherwise, I would say resources. Supportive, positive resources, not just moolah. Okay? There isn't only money sitting there. That jewelry box can represent other forms of wealth, including a wealth of true love in its purest, most sacred form that contributes to the overall merriment of two or more people. They're at an event that involves no less than two or more people. So, the good of all, resources and love, correspondence involving that. This is a love letter. Not a dear not a dear John, but a love letter. Signed, sealed, and delivered. True love in its purest, most. I'll say that again, since the live cut out and then came back on. True love and resourcefulness in its purest, most sacred form. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. For the collective, in every way, shape, and form, as well as a peace of mind. That contributes to the greater good of all. Beautiful. Let's keep going. Oh, and right in our environment and orbit is the officer, indicating that we are somebody's official person, whether it's romance or any other connection. It's official, it's official, it's sincere, it's true blue, the real deal, including any kind of information, communication, correspondence through the third eye. Overcoming the past has already been occurring in the environment as well. Deeper, more long-term connections, reliable long-term connections, divinely ordained and orchestrated, coming in. Well, it's already in the orbit. So it's already here, already done. We just have to open our eyes to it. And it's emerging. The ability to see it is emerging. Oh my goodness. Right behind that is the good fortune card. Yet again. And right behind that, desires. I don't usually get this message with this card right off the jump, but I just heard blessings rolling in many ways, shapes, and forms, and dreams are coming true. It's no longer just a daydream. It's coming true. She looks like she's off with her head in the clouds, right? Literally, her head is in the clouds. But it's not just a daydream. It's coming true. Oh, more confirmation of resources, including our sixth sense. 3 coins on the table, 6 cents. Things may look empty and scarce, but we are far more resourceful than we ever wanted to believe up until now. And that knowing is emerging through the remembering for the collective. Good news pertaining to health, wealth, and all, Holy Spirit just said all resources, because the smoke is clearing. Clarity is coming in. It's already here. It's coming from the bottom. Let's go. What else is coming through and emerging for the collective? That's a full pass. We have anger. Well, as mentioned in the beginning of this session, the collective's glow up is going to make some people angry. Moving on is going to make some people angry. But it was also mentioned directly from the cards, directly from Source, Holy Spirit, Messenger of Source, to not allow that to affect us. Let the chips fall for them. Because the tension and the strife is for them, not us. But as you rise, as you go through this glow up stage and move on with your life to all this new, it's going to tick some people off, guys. It's normal. That's natural to happen. Like, we're not responsible for other people's feelings, though. All right? Some kind of unexpected visit involving your home or your stability, your foundation, your security, your safety. Source is building that bridge to that security, stability, and safety. And some kind of knowing about that. This is somebody bringing another somebody their flowers. In this particular reading, anyways. Otherwise, this would be like an unexpected, uninvited visit, like a not so great visit. Okay? Some kind of private correspondence pertaining to the bridge that Source Holy Spirit has built for the collective around our security, stability, and safety. And it's a solid bridge, a solid foundation. For some of the collective, this is an interview of some kind that is going to secure that bag for you. Financial security, I just heard. Whether it's private or professional, but the correspondence is going to be private. Some kind of visit or meeting of some other kind. It can be an online meeting or interview, leading to more of that security. The bridge is already there. The actions that we take are also going to contribute to getting to the other side. Source built the bridge. We get a little more familiar with our land legs and take action. And with the sweetheart already in the immediate orbit, She's just on that team chill timeline. Not a worry in her mind. She's content. She's looking at love and saying, no matter what it pertains to people, places, things, and situations, I choose love. Love is the greatest teacher. Source, Holy Spirit, the greatest teacher. Love in its purest, most sacred form. 1221 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to take a look at that number as our angel number, and that's going to be the message that draws this live to a close. I caught it just in time before the clock changed. New beginnings, confirmation of those new beginnings and opportunities, balance, harmony, spiritual growth, trust and positivity, and even great news pertaining to relationships, loyalty, dedication, and the importance of nurturing relationships coming in for us. Also, the importance of maintaining open communication with those new connections. Focusing on spiritual growth, trusting in our abilities, staying positive. In terms of your efforts, be proud of how far you've come. Continue working on your spirituality to have a great relationship with the divine. Remain confident about yourself and your abilities. In terms of love, wholly dedicated partners, spouses that would never cheat, and prepare to be showered with love. However, there is a bit of an air of caution with this. Being careful not to be too smothering or clingy, like when you're showering one another with love, you be prepared to accept it and take it in without overdoing it in return. Because there's indication of emotional sensitivity as well. But even more so, there's indication of loving with your whole heart. We love with our whole heart. Even those who were never meant to be like a permanent placement in our lives, we still love with our whole heart. Even the cheater, pumpkin eaters. But the good news is true love in its purest, most sacred form is coming in, as well as stability and balance in both work and personal lives. Just remain true to yourself. And everything that you set your mind to you can do, because you already are in the right frame of mind, or that right frame of mind is emerging with this remembering, striking a balance, no regrets. No regrets. It's either a win or a lesson. Having an attitude of gratitude attracts more of these blessings, as well as that ability to walk our divine paths passionately is also emerging during this time of remembering. And that is the message. I want to thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Familia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation. From my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings and agape omni love to all.